Welcome back to AFTV, everyone. I'm here with Babs after Arsenal drew 0-0 with Everton. Look, I want to fly into the big questions because we just interviewed Lee. I had a lot to say about Mikel Arteta. And look, I feel a lot of the frustration. I really, really do. This is someone that me and you have really backed. Is it too hyperbolic? I'm not going to lie, I do feel this. Is it too hyperbolic to say that if he'd performed better, significantly better this season, forget for the injuries, the context, the red cards, whatever, we'd be in a much better position. And what I'm trying to say is I'm looking at him more than I am the players, if I'm honest.
I think it's a collective, as always. But he holds the blame. Like, for example, today, it was bold to take off your captain when it's half an hour left of the game. We were like, okay, it makes sense. I was saying, look, it makes sense to bring Ranieri on. But why can't we see both? Why is there an insistence of playing all these central midfielders when you're chasing a goal and you need a goal as well? I think that's one thing Mikel Arteta has struggled with in the past is he gets stuck on his ideas of control. And I think right now we have a bit too much control. And we love the whole, control stuff and have possessions and stuff. But we held teams in so much, they're not allowed to come out of the block. They can sit back all game and it doesn't make the game open. But the other issue with that is if we make the game open, we can't capitalise. We are one of the worst counter-attack teams in the league.
I totally agree. But did you not feel it was weird that actually the second half, we almost relinquished all control and went completely messy? It was like Arteta went from one to the other.
He panicked. That's what it was. He completely panicked. And the issue was, and I say this, the first half was better than the second. And
for sure.
And that's saying quite a lot because the first half wasn't amazing. But we should be 1-2. We were making chances. Mm-hmm. I saw a stat right now after the game. 80% of the ball, second half. 0 big chances created at the Emirates Stadium. I know you can take off Martin Odegaard, but you've got other players there. We've still got some very expensive players there. Havertz, £65 million. Saka's world class. We should do more than that. 100%. And I think, playing this amount of midfielders and stuff, and, for Everton's defence and stuff, it's amazing. But I saw Liverpool's game, obviously numbers, I didn't watch the game because I watched the Arsenal game, but they were down to 10 men and they're still going for it. They still had a higher XG than Fulham. And because their style of players, they'll leave games open, but because they have the trust in their attacking quality to win games over, it's getting them more points than Arsenal. So, we love talking about the defence when it's amazing, but right now, we're a bit too defensive, a bit too stiff. We lack technical ability. That's what it is.
I think we lack match-winning quality massively.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's that inevitable thing in the final third. The reason why Mikel Arteta took off Martin Odegaard is because he didn't see him providing that. Obviously we've seen him do stuff in moments, but Pep don't take off KDB. He don't. Or Haaland, because he knows those two will combine at one point. Mikel thought that Odegaard was going to provide that, and he was struggling, to be fair to him. But I want to see them both try it. Try them on the left. We've seen Saka go from a left back and left winger to one of the best right wingers in the world by just flipping sides. Why can't we see Odegaard on the left? Why is he not even trialled it even once? It's a simple thing in a game like this where you're going for all these different options, Jesus and Havertz together and Partey at right back. If you're doing all of that, why can't you try your attacking midfielder with another attacking midfielder in a game that you need a goal?
Oh, that's such a great point, Babs. It's like you're so willing to be flexible and mess around with other people's positions. But the left-hand side's struggling a little bit. Martinelli's not really getting a lot of combinations. I thought Mourinho would help that. I hold my hands up, I got it wrong. But you're so right. Why is that too big a change?
It's never made sense to me. He's trialled so many different things. Yeah. And midfielders playing a right back and centre-back playing a left back and right back. He's Timber and Tomiyasu as an example. It confuses me, and I think it's a risk that he's not taken. And for me, it's something that could cross us. If Odegaard stays on, he goes on the left hand side. And you got Ranieri there as well. We've got a far better chance of making a chance to win the game. But when you take off Odegaard and you've only got Ranieri, there's a lot of emphasis now on a 17-year-old to go provide that moment.
And that's why I got quite heated on the watch long in defending him, because I just thought Arteta's left us in this position where we're basically hoping a 17-year-old does the business. I kind of wasn't really willing to hear any kind of any Ranieri wasn't great, but I just don't even want to talk about it because I'm like, there's sort of much higher level problems for me at Arsenal. Just on Mikel a little bit more though. You're so right about the lack of kind of flexibility in the use of some players, but total flexibility in the use of others. Did he? And I really hate saying it, but did he bottle it a bit today? Did he kind of lose? I mean, I think, if I'm paraphrasing, I think Goonley said he lost his head, and I kind of think he did. There was something about the subs, and I know I sound like a hypocrite because I always say, make the subs earlier, but it just felt the nature of them were just a bit, whoa, I don't know what you're doing here.
Yeah, I think he did. I agree, and I say that because in the first half, the reason why we were better is because we had balance. We had Marino and Lewis Skelly on the left-hand side, 2 left footers. We saw against Fulham that having right footers on that left-hand side doesn't work. We couldn't make a single chance. We barely, obviously got the draw then, couldn't get the winner. So why would it work in this game? What changed in this game? You know, so if you've seen it's not work before, why would you insist on the same thing that hasn't worked before? And I think that's my issue, is we've seen that not work. We've not seen Odegaard play with Ranieri. So let's try something different. If you're going for Thomas Partey at right back and Jorginho in midfield and then, you know, Havertz dropping into midfield, all these different things, just try that one little thing. It might work. You never know.
Let me ask you about the players though, because I think we're right to talk about Arteta quite a lot, but there comes a point where these are players that we rate really highly and we give them the love for it. Martin Odegaard, there's the really big missed chance that we saw in the first half. That was the big one. But there was that strike from distance that kind of went wide. So we were like, oh, good effort. But when you really think about a player of his quality, like hit the target, ask a question of the keeper. If not, I think KDB scores that. And on his left foot, I'm not even talking about on his right. I think on his left, KDB probably scores that. And then you look at, you know, Martinelli, the slight offside against Fulham. Yeah, Partey with a miss there. Kai Havertz, you know, poor ball striking against Fulham too. I sort of think like, at what point as well do the players, it's like, well, you know, you lot have to put the ball in the back of the net. And they're really, I was about to say something, they're really, you know what, the bed when they're in front of goal.
They have. But at the same time, when you've got a coach for 5 years, I want to see more better attacking patterns.
Yeah, of course.
Because we've seen these players be static for too long.
Yeah.
And it gets to a point now I'm thinking, is it the manager or is it the players? Because there's no way that, you know, as a coach who's worked with these players, who you sign these players to new contracts and you brought them in, that there's no more, you know, attacking fluidity at this point. And that's my biggest concern with Mikel Arteta, is this lack of chance creation. You know, of course, we've talked about set pieces and it's a very good thing to have in your armoury. But we need that open play, obviously, chances as well. And we're not creating that in games like this. And that's the issue, is Liverpool have. And that's why they're top of the league right now, is because defensively, of course, they've got top defenders, but they all concede chances. Today, we didn't concede no chances, right? But they will go forwards, they'll win the game 2-1, or they'll win the game 3-2. We either win 4-0, where we score in the first half, or we lose the draw. But
they were down to 10 men, behind twice, and got a point. That's a really good point for them.
And they went for it. They went for it. And the red card was in the first half as well. Against the Fulham side, you look at the game, we've played Fulham back-to-back, right? In our game against Fulham, it was more controlled. Fulham made nothing goal game. Obviously, they scored their goal. We had a few chances. We missed them, and obviously 1-1. Liverpool's game was also a draw, but it was a different style of play. Both teams are going for it. It's open because they trust their attackers.
And they're a man down.
Mikel Arteta obviously has his love for control, but it's costing him right now because we've become predictable. Teams know, okay, well, they're going to control the ball. You can have all your possession, but we can sit back, organise ourselves, give us time. The amount of times, there was a chance in the first half Odegaard could have broken away. And instead of driving forwards, he kind of turned back and passed around again, setting tempo. But the issue is we're relying on an 8 to be a 10. Martin Odegaard is not a 10. He is not a 10. His profile is... the player isn't the issue, it's the profile. Yeah. If you're using him as a 10 and expecting him to do 10 things, he ain't going to do that. But as an 8 to set tempo, control play, that is why in the first half of last year, he was awful. Because playing as a 10. Second half, tried to drop deeper, you know, and that's where we saw the best of Martin Odegaard. So, again, it falls up to Mikel Arteta platforming his best players. And right now, he's failing to do so.
Fair enough, Babs. Big thanks, man. Appreciate it.